the inside! What a dive! And does do it! What a dive from such a long way back!
Unbelievable.
That wasn't even an overtaking opportunity, and now he's coming back side by side down into the right-hander, and they almost touch around the outside, now down the inside. Look at this, side by side. Absolutely bonkers, and this lets Pirelli catch up. Down the inside goes, down the inside. Beautiful move. Does he do it? Pulls it off. Fantastic move then.
It was Gav left.
Oh, Tsuki! Oh my. The most cartoon crash ever. It's no improvement for Hiker. Is it going to be one for It Forgets? Yes, but they. Oh my god. Now that is teammates. That is how identical those cars are. Exactly the same time. 120.823.
Down the inside here, he'll try the... Oh, he's on the grass! On the grass! And passes! And tries! Now he's going to be diving on the brake. Down the inside goes Silverstone and go. What a move from the Italian!
There's 1 point in it. Van Elk wins by 1 point otherwise. So Razy's got... He's lost it. Oh, Van Elk spun. Van Elk, they both spun. Oh my god. Oh my god. They will both be going mental.
Sweden wins the American Grand Prix. Let's go to third position, Low, as coming through and crossing the line, your new world champion. Hayo is the champion of the world. Metro 666 comes the line and wins the Japanese Grand Prix, and with it the title itself, and slows right down.
Is he got it? Yeah.
And world champion, Vectro 666, finally. Well, 5 lights, and we're underway, and well, there goes the grid, and they're gone. Something has gone horribly wrong.
Up the inside of Hiker, nice move there. Hiker noticed him and gave the space.
And away we go, and it's a very good start from Rip It Up. Look at him, right down the middle. Vectro also getting away very well there. Sig up the inside. Is he going to make it stick? Yes, he is. No, he's not.
Almost made contact.
Almost made contact there.
Get through. I think they've all got through.
Everyone has got through there. Rip It Up going a bit slowly on the inside there. Solid Solita losing the back end, but keeps it.
See, down the inside. That's going to be a easy move if he does get anywhere, but again, Furia breaks very late. Oh!
Yeah, as these two battle away, Skulls going around the outside later on the brakes. Harry Butter taking the inside line. He's still there. Harry Butter's gone wide. Skull diving all over the place on the track. He's got to be careful of Boston Road. Boston Road's caught right up. Boston Road's going up the inside. Skull's just noticed him. They're side by side, almost.
He's looking around the outside into the last corner, into the Clark curve. That's brave. That's very brave.
You think this one's Hector? Oh boy, yeah.
Oh, he tried on the inside! And he got to move this time. He's alongside and trying and hurry. And he's trying to the outside. Is he even going to give him that? He's going to brake late. Can Andre try a cutback? No, not yet. He'll be brave to go on the lead. Looking for the lead. Vectro takes the lead here, and now red timesing and hits him. Does almost hit him.
I thought he was going to then, but he moved. I think he moved over.
The inside goes DJ. Does he make the move? No, he backs out of it. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, he definitely doesn't. Well, down the inside goes Mateo. There we go. Back down the inside. Have that one, Sunshine. Now he's going to go around the inside again, isn't he? If he goes down the inside again, I'll be bonkered. Nah, you can't. That's going to end the contact. That's on side, and then to backs out of it. Oh, he runs wide. Oh, he's going to go down the inside. That's Alonso. There was Alonso and Massa. Oh, that's Ferrari around this corner. Here we are then for the Belgium Grand Prix. 5 lights. Go! And Barry gets a fantastic start. Ethan left trolling behind there. And further back, Ethan already going defensive at turn 1. Down the inside comes one of the BMWs now. And almost taps the side of the Mercedes. Further back, carnage going on there. And I believe they all get through cleanly at turn 1 this time. Pirelli, though, he's going to have a look down the inside. Down the inside goes Pirelli. Covering off goes the Ferrari. Round the outside goes It Forgets. Well, this is bonkers down the back. Well, talk about great racing to end the year.
Again, not good enough there. It's this track.
so
he's going to try on the
Salita.
outside. One's wide, and he's going to be side by side. Is Salita going to try down the inside? They're going to make contact or not?
Vectra's ran off the track. Vectra did run off the track there, but I don't think
Get away with it.
he might just get away with it.
Going to make the move. Yes. Into the lead. Pulls alongside. Pulls ahead the Audi. First of the Ferrari. Now Ronnie is going to be going shallow. Can he go on the outside again? Yes. Yes. Fight. And takes the lead again. And watch out for that McLaren following behind. This is fantastic stuff. Your top three separated by under 1 second. And coming along is Solo Salita. He's going to try turn 1. Does he get through? They all finally, I think they've all got through at turn 1 correctly. I think it's finally happened. They've all got through turn 1. Will they get through turn 2? They almost make contact at the back. They're all squirming together.
Let's see, and Alessia's lost it again, and a Ferrari at the same time. Synchronised spinning right there.
I don't think anything can Red do. Gav into the lead. Gav leads the Belgian Grand Prix. And boy, oh boy, has this turned into a shocker. Red in the pit for the lead. He's got a beautiful run. Slingshots past and takes the lead. Now, we'll have the inside. Now, this could be close. And down the inside. Yes, he does do it. One's a bit wide. Cut back could be the options. Now, side by side, as they come down here, Ho's going to try and give him as much of a squeeze. And does take second position there. Oh, he tries slow. Backs out that time. It's the rear almost there.
So close. So
behind the slipstream. I don't think Alessia's going to do too much about this as he goes down the inside into turn 1. Alessia's going to try and hold it around the outside. Gets on the grass around the outside. Alessia tries to hold on, and it's not going to quite do it for Alessia. And Ferrelli makes that move and gets it finished.
Pulling along. He's going to go to the lead. They've got Sig on the outside. It's going to be free into turn 1. Is it all going to be clean? The answer to that is a gradual of yes. It seems to be. Running wide. There goes Fundown. He's going to jump up to second. Sig drops down to 4th, and this is going
For third
well.
position in this Grand Prix. Look at Pancho. He might give him a little squeeze towards the wall. Down the inside goes Idforgets for third position. Can he get it done, or will he hold it around the outside? He'll try. He will try to hold it around the outside. He gives him the squeeze. Contact made. Good little battle. Idforgets will move to third position, and can he come back? No, he can't. Good little battle from those two guys there.
Brave if he's going to try. I think he'll back out of it. Surely he has to, unless it's me, because I would have made a move, but he backs out of it. One's wide. He's going to go for the lead. He is into the lead, and he leads. Skull lead. Battling for Tangible there. Down the inside. That's a good move. Get it there, over the curve, backing tyres.
Did he cut him there? Did he cut him? I thought he cut him.
Does it. Podium. He's on the podium. Finally. He's done it. After so long. Forza Gavra, there's everyone celebrating. Solo Salita's just having a donut. Does do it. Same position where another car with a side-by-side down to a route. This could end badly. Does it? Brazy bravely backs out of that one. He's not going to try that. He'd be mad to try side-by-side.
Ruapuna Park, the lights go.
Good afternoon, and we hope you're ready for an exciting qualifying session as the teams make their final adjustments here in Brno. So guys, another Grand Prix weekend, another exciting qualifying session. What are you guys going to be looking out for over the next few minutes? Hio, what do you expect to see over this very overcast day here at the Grand Prix?
So yeah, welcome. I hope you can also hear me loud and clear. It's going to be a very tough race today. We have overcast in qualifying, but later on it will start raining at the start. Then heavy rain in the middle of the race, and it will dry a bit in the end. So we will see a lot of spins, a lot of pit stops, different strategies. You never know what will happen.
Yes, that is exactly right. Alongside me today, we have my two fellow commentators of Hio and Jordan. Jordan, how are we today?
Not too bad, mate. Not too bad.
Okay, as we look at the qualifying session here, as Cashnit in the Audi setting his provisional times here. We're 5 minutes into the qualifying session, and the only driver, sorry, no, all drivers are out on track now with a provisional time of a 1:59.915, as Cashnit is our provisional leader for right now. But do we expect to see track conditions getting better, or could we see maybe some track degradation over the next minutes here in Jordan?
I think the track will definitely get better as the rubber's in, due to it just being lubricant. I think if there was a change more from heavy cam to overcams, we could have seen it erode a bit more. But it will get better every year.
This will definitely be getting better, I presume, but once again the drivers will have to be thinking about the wet conditions coming up in the race. So I'd right now be getting down pat with a nice wet setup in these early stages of the qualifying Grand Prix. In practice, we did see a 2-minute 7:85 being the fastest time set by Cashnit, excuse me. But he seems to have stepped it up a notch and going about a second quicker. As we see Husa completing his laps now with a 2-minute 2:865, and the longest lap being a 2-minute 4:292. So what do we expect to see for race pace? I'm presuming that the wet conditions are going to make it a bit of a challenge for the drivers, maybe difficult to overtake as the large quantities of spray coming up. Heo, do you reckon that there will be a difficulty in overtaking throughout the race?
I guess most of the overtakes will be during spins of your opponent. So close-up racing in the wet with those conditions, with the patch that came up yesterday, changed a lot of setups, so the drivers are not used to the cars, how they behave now. I guess it will be better in the later the later laps of the race, but you'll never know. I don't think we will see that much close-up racing for huge amount of laps going on. I think the drivers will force each other into mistakes and use them to gain a position and do the overtakes.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I think drivers will be sticking out for the long game as 33 laps approach us. 15 turns also approach us here in the Czech Republic of the Brno GP, the GT3 class, as we see Vectro running a little bit wide from the apex there. This uphill ascent through turns 11, 12, 13 and 14 is a bit of a difficult one. Very difficult to see the apex of the corners and also braking zones. So it's kind of feeling the car over the lap and feeling the temperature in the brakes and tyres until you can absolutely push. As we see, I think Matt going and setting a 2-minute 03. What can Vector set? He sets a 2-minute 985, exactly the same time as Cashnit from our practice session, just 2/10 off there. But yes, drivers are running a little bit lean on fuel there, I see. Only 8 laps in Vector's car. Maybe he's just going for a bit of a practice run, as we see Cashnit coming out once again. Flip. I wasn't expecting him in the Nissan to be that high up. I thought that the Nissan was a bit of a diva around here. What car do you expect to be the most confident around here, boys?
I reckon it's going to be good, but not necessarily for the corners, but for the straight line of pace. Because I've run a Nissan before, and around Le Mans it was only about 4 miles an hour slower than Ford GTE can. So it's almost perfect for long straight line. Just get up and down.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. And this is a car I've never really commentated on. I think it's the Cadillac of Pete here in the Cadillac. It looks like a bit of a heavy car. Do you reckon it is very heavy and a bit hard on its tyre? I think that rear end might be a bit too stable and the front end being a bit loose. So Jordan, do you reckon that the Cadillac is a very heavy car? It looks heavy from what I've seen.
It does understeer a bit. I have messed with it a few times. He does understand, which is probably his biggest downfall, but that stable rear end can give you a bit of confidence on getting back on the power, so all depends, because I think around Brno, you want to be getting on that power really early on every corner.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. A lot of long left and right handers around Brno with different. It's really difficult to judge the apex around this circuit. Looking into the corner, especially when you're in cockpit cam, like most of these drivers are, it's a bit difficult to see above the steering wheel and things like that through the corners. And trust me, if you go wide here, it's going to catch you out, and you may hit a couple of walls. We are running damage for this league, so we could see a couple of broken front ends and rear ends and suspension failures and things like that. We're coming through this uphill ascent. I mentioned this before. It's a big gradient to be going up here and really can impact on speed. So, Jordan, do you reckon you'd be going for a higher downforce or less of downforce so that you can get that top end speed?
Difficult one, isn't it? Because the problem with Brno is most of it's over the hills and crest, so you want the downforce when you go over that, because you don't want to use a lot of rear end. I think you probably want to go for more of a balanced air setup, in my opinion, because then you get a fairly decent top speed and a bit of downforce when you go over the crest.
Yes, I definitely have to agree with that one there, as we see Vector get it a little bit wrong, and there's a tyre just sitting happy on the track there, as we see Ferrelli, our British man in the number 44 car, maybe is a bit of a fan of Lewis Hamilton. As you can see, I think that's the middle sector that he's coming through right now as he heads it out onto the straight here, sorry, the end sector, as he comes out of turn 14 to set his new lap time. What can he go? I think he was just starting a flying lap now. But Flip actually looks quite good. He's in the pit line now, but he's managed to set with Cashnet there, as Cashnet went quicker over a lap, maybe running a bit lean on fuel there, as we may actually see drivers maybe start to push it into the 158s, which would be a bit of a surprise. They only have to improve by 5/10 of a second, so that's maybe a little bit difficult for some of the drivers, as we see Ferrelli get it all wrong there and throw up some smoke. Jordan, do you reckon that was because of a loose rear end, or just getting it a bit too early on the power?
Have a little watch of him, because
as we see Allo Champs come through, I think that's turn 3 there. Maybe it's turn 4. I always think that there's only 14 corners around this track. Turn 3 is a bit of a interesting one, as turn 1 actually opens up into a long, I think it's a long left-hander and then a long right-hander then a left-hander. And there's a big puddle that forms there in the wet, so drivers will have to be a bit cautious about that, maybe taking a bit of a wider line through there and tightening it up upon exit. It does open up on you a bit there, so it might be a bit difficult for some of the drivers, but most of them are running traction control and ABS, but in the wet that's not going to help you very much, as the rear end does like to step out on you. Meanwhile, as we follow our championship leader of Allo Champs, as he comes down the 5th straight into turn 10 around here. I think it's turn 10, yeah it is. As he comes out of the corners there of turn 10, coming up to the ascent once again. That Porsche looks very stable in the rear end. So Jordan, once again, I'm gonna call upon you. Do you reckon this is a matter of setup, or does the Porsche just have natural downforce?
I think the Porsche does have natural downforce as a unit. I don't think it has good in a straight line. But what it's almost like a McLaren or Red Bull or GT3 cars, I would say. It's not as powerful, but interesting as you can quite literally chuck that car around, and it will give you confidence quite a lot of the time.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. He's running more fuel than the other drivers, so maybe going out for a long stint. As we see, I think that's Iberch just in front. No, it's not. It must be Mayo then. Yeah, he's got a bit of a dinged up front end, so he might have a spun that we might have not seen. Yeah, he's got a bit of a dinged up front end there as he's going quite high in second gear around here. Felt that it's a bit difficult to choose the gears around this circuit, as it's a bit of a lower gear type circuit. I reckon he's knocked up a wall there or something, maybe asking too much of the rear end from that Ferrari 488 as he goes over the undulation through the track there. That front left tire, sorry, front right tire was asking a bit much there. He lost a bit of degradation on the tread of the tire. These hard and soft tires. What tire, Jordan, do you reckon is the best tire around here? Do you reckon the hard or the slick, the hard or the soft tire is the best one around here?
I think the soft one would be better in the qualifying if you're going for a one lap one, without a doubt, because that obviously gives you the grip. But after a couple of laps, you will start to feel more, especially the long corners. But again, it's very driver preference, because the hards do give a slightly looser end. So, and some drivers prefer that. So it could be a better time for them in performance ones. But for me personally, it's softs for qualifying, probably softs for the race.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that, but yeah, I think we should see a pit stop in this race, going from wet conditions to overcast conditions. So I was told that the new update brought a little bit more degradation to the tyres on behalf of the wet compound of tyres. So, Heo, do you reckon we will see even a 3-stop race compared to our usual no-stop race, maybe even a 2-stop race? Yeah, do you reckon we might see a couple of pit stops here?
Yeah, I talked to some drivers before the race, and they are really struggling at the moment with the new patch. They don't know actually what will happen during the race. I talked to some drivers. They told me that after like 5 laps the tires are really going down already. But the degradation is a bit like, so in the first few rounds, first few laps, it's going down pretty fast, but then it stabilizes a bit. But you never know if it will be stable throughout the whole stint or if it will go down again. So it really depends on the actual conditions during the race, because there's always some random inside. So light rain doesn't always mean the same light rain, and depending on that we will see 2 stops, we will see maybe 1 stop, maybe some will do 3 stops. That we will see. I guess there's not the single best strategy today, unlike the last races where it was always the 0-stop strategy. Today we will see some variety, hopefully, and it will get some tension into the race.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. We will see some variety, as we did see a bit of variety from Phoenix there in the BMW through turn, I think it's turn 4 or 5. I'm not sure. As I birched double shifting there down, that's going to hurt the gearbox a bit on his car, as Pete sets his new fastest lap there of 2 minute 2.7. Still 3 seconds behind from Cashnet, so I think that's showing that Cashnet is a very quick driver. As Chance locking out P5 there with a 2 minute 1. Very difficult to set a competitive time around here. Feels like quite a fast circuit, but then again, in the times it's really showing that it's not a fast circuit, as Rally comes into the pit lane there, probably for a new set of tyres. 6 minutes 25 seconds remaining here in qualifying for the drivers to set their fastest times. Remember that an average outlap time here is about 2 minutes and 10 seconds, maybe 2 minutes and 20 seconds, as it's a bit of a long circuit around here, as we see Pete. I'm going to imagine that might have been an invalidated lap time. He did kick up a bit of dirt there. He still looks like he's going for it though. Shifting at around about 6,000 RPM, so he's got the speed in that Cadillac, I think, but maybe it just once again is a bit heavy. And the car that we haven't seen too much, the Renault of Pollux 81, as he comes through the middle chicane once again. Looks like once again he's got a bit of a dinged up front end. Maybe that's just how the Renault looks as he runs wide over the curbing there. Now, boys, do you reckon the curving around this track is a bit of a mischievous one? It can turn the car around, however, you can trust it at some corners?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, most of the curves around here are quite flat, which is very beneficial. But the ones that are on the crest, they've got sausages right where they want. So you go slow and gentle back at the
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there as we saw Pollux coming through turn 11 and 12 there. One of those sausage curves that you were talking about is there. It's a bit of an interesting apexed corner there, and this one's a bit of a difficult braking zone as well. So we see someone cleaned up the barriers there as Cashnet has gone and set his new fastest time.
What's worse is that the sausage curves are on the same car as the one curve. You just can't see it.
Yes, I have to agree with that, and that the practice laps I did do around here for a bit definitely proved that it was a bit of an undulation. Even with my commentary skill, it was a bit difficult, and my terrible driving skill in these GT3 cars is Cashnet really asking a lot of curving there as he got his front tyre really giving it all now with 4 minutes remaining, so we should see maybe even 2 more hot laps from the drivers now if they're able to set a fast time. Cashnet is the man in first place with Pirelli in second and Flip Flip in third. And Vector, I believe, there in P4 with Allo Champs in P5. Ibrich in P6, Mayo 7th, Pollux 8th, and Pete 9th with, I think it's Flyboy in 10th, Hussa in 11th, Matt in 12th, Phoenix in 13th, and obviously our commentary man down in the pit lane there in 14th is the the Porsche of Allo Champs. Let's Cashnet go through at a respectable place there. Bit difficult on the curving though, that he was sitting on corner exit. Is Vector? I haven't seen Vector come out yet, so maybe he's waiting until the optimal time to head out of the garage. It looks like maybe a lot of drivers are done with their time as Matt comes out of 12th place. Bit interesting to see the Lamborghini so far down the order there of Matt. So do you reckon maybe Matt's struggling with a bit of setup, or do you reckon it might be a problem with the car?
Well, I think the setup is quite key on because this track definitely shows who can trust the car with the power. It shows it massively. You get on the power maybe 10 meters later than someone, and they pulled 2/10 on in the corner. So if you can't quite trust the car, there's definitely something wrong with the setup. Whether you can correct it or not in said time is another matter. Trying to find the issue to begin with. There's so many different options on these cars to change.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that one, as we're on board with Matt now as he comes through. I think that's turn 9 there. Sorry, this is turn 9 now as he's running a bit of a wide apex there in first gear, which I haven't seen the GT cars use first gear very often, except for getting off the line. But looks like Cashnet has finished his time there. It doesn't look like he's coming out again.
Actually spun.
Oh, Cashnet spun. Oh, that's why he explains why he's in the pit lane. Maybe pushing just a little too hard, but yeah. We won't. I'll let you take away from that. Explain.
It just coming out on one of the left-handers. He just got on the power and it back end just slightly went. So I think maybe the rear tyres might have gone because he did go for a fairly long stint for qualifying. The back tyres may have gone, and that was not enough for it.
So as we see Ibrich go faster there in the Ferrari up to 5th place, pushing Allo Champs down to 6. Matt's starting his lap now. I think Matt's starting his lap. Yes, he is. He came out of the pit lane before. So we're gonna watch the Lamborghini with pride here as he comes round turn 1 here up to turn 2. Now turn 3, I'm gonna say, as I'm following the track map around This Lamborghini's looking very good. Looks like there might be a little bit of damage to the front end, so that might slow him down a bit, as apparently Pirelli's come out of the pit lane there. With 36 seconds to go, that might be a bit difficult to get around that quickly. I don't think he's that quick of a driver, as Matt has to use a little bit braking on exit of that corner just to make it round to not invalidate his line. Over now to turn 5 and 6, as he's got a little bit shaky on exit there. Looking for the apex of that corner, he kicks up a little bit of dirt. Flip-Flip's gone in front of Pirelli, or was Flip-Flip always in front of Pirelli? I think he was always in front. Yeah, it's okay. He went in front of one of the Audis, so that I think Flip-Flip, I'm not sure what car Flip-Flip's in.
Nissan GT3, I believe.
He's in the Nissan, so that Nissan looking very good for Flip-Flip. As Matt still down in 12th place. It's really not looking good for the two Lamborghinis boys at Riopa Park. Last week they looked very confident, very good, looking at 3rd and 4th, with battling with Flip-Flip once again.
Here at turn 12. Oh, and he's gone in the sausage. He's gone in that sausage.
I think that might have invalidated his lap, so we'll see if he gets it done, as he's the only man out on track, so he's got it all to himself. As a late downshift into 3rd and 2nd there through turn 13 and 14. As he comes across the line, what can Matt do as he exit of turn 14 there? What can this man do? And the Lamborghini is across the line. That puts him up to 9th place. He's in front of the provisional back markers, as Matt looked very good there in the final ends of qualifying. Bit of a late downshift for the Lamborghini drivers, but boys, what do we think about that qualifying session? Any highlights?
I think Flip-Flip's done a fantastic job there with that Nissan. It's not the best in the corners without doubt, but he's done well to get within just over half a second of cashing it, I would say.
Yes, I'm definitely gonna have to agree with that, as just shortly we'll be moving on to the race here. 33 laps prepare us for the 200 and around about 50-kilometer average speed around this track through most of the through the longest straight, which is the 5th straight, just out of turn 9. As we've got our qualifying session finish, as Cashnett setting the first place time and getting pole there with a 159.060, being the fastest man on track, with Flip-Flip following him in the Nissan, the German doing well there in 2nd place. Pirelli, his teammate, going with a 159.771, setting a very good time there in the Audi Vector. The other Lamborghini set a good time there in 4th place. Ibrich in 5th place. Elo Champs in 6th. Pollux in 7th. Mayo in 8th. Matt in 9th. Pete in the Cadillac in 10th. Flyboy in the BMW in 11th. Hussa in 12th place, and I didn't see who was in third place, as it's raining here. As I have a little bit of an introduction here. Welcome to race day here at the Brno GP. The Grand Prix stands are filling up nicely, and there was a real buzz around the paddock this morning that today's race was going to be a very exciting one. I'm going to use a quote from the Formula 1 game today. It's not going to be plain sailing today for our drivers, although with the sky falling it is, sailing isn't too far away. Boys, could be an interesting one today. Who do you reckon the favourite's going to be?
Well, based on qualifying, you've got to say Cashnett half a second up, but has he set the car up for the overcast, or has he set it up for the wet? That's going to be key here. If Flip-Flip's got that set up for wet, and Cashnett's got it set up for later on in the race, it will be a very close battle, I think, in the end.
Yes, I'd have to agree with that one. It is light rain conditions here. The drivers do have their windscreen wipers on. It looks like Cashnett and Mayo, the only ones to have their windscreen wipers on, so maybe there's an electrical problem with the other cars, which might be a bit interesting. But once again, running down the grid, as we had Phoenix in last place there, and I think he set a relatively okay time. I think it was a 2:04. He wasn't able to push too hard. 13 runners ahead of us today. with Cashnet sitting the happy time of pole position, and I'm going to say that Flip Flip might be the favourite here. He's got the inside line on the on turn 1, but then again, you got to think of the mega starts that Cashnet's been able to do over the over his Grand Prix starts. I'm not sure if the drivers will be running with their lights on today, although I would be, just so other cars see me. Yes, as we head to 5 red lights now, what are the drivers going to be showing for us today? As the lights get ready to go, we rev up the engines. 5 red lights, lights out, and away we go. And it looks like Cashnet got a bit of a fast start there, as the Nissan of Flip Flip looked to get a bit of a difficult start there, and the spray is being kicked up from these Pirelli wet weather tyres, as it looks like Pirelli's been able to make the overtake on the Nissan of Flip Flip, as now Vector's gone straight up the inside of Pirelli there through turn 1, and it looks like one of the BMWs is round in the background, as one of the Ferraris looks like to maybe have the advantage on the Audi of Cashnet. He looks for the move, he hasn't quite got it done yet, and Cashnet looks like the man to get the most out of this, with Flyboy maybe having a little bit of contact in the background there in his BMW. Looks like Ibridge is trying to get the run down into turn 5 here, as it looks like Mayo got pushed out a bit wide there from Allo Chance. Not a good start from Allo Chance. And there's a move for the lead. It's Vector's round, and he's straight over that curve. He's got to wait for everyone to pass before he can enter back onto the track, and he does get it back onto the track. Cashnet still remaining the lead now, as Pirelli looks like to be the man under pressure from one of the Ferraris there, but it looks like there was a problem from Vector there, which was very difficult. It looks like the driver of Pollux now on P5 is getting under attack from Matt, or is that, I think that's Flip Flip now. As Flip Flip gets down into P4 there with the Nissan, he's going to have the highest speed from that Renault. It actually looks like the Renault's pulled ahead, so maybe he's running with a bit more downforce as Matt heads right down the inside, and it looks like maybe he's got, yes, he does have the overtake done on Pollux there. A lot of spray being kicked up by these tyres today. Flip Flip's round, and it looks like he has a bit of damage. Oh yes, Allo Chance has got a hefty amount of damage to the front end of that Porsche, as it looks like Vector's going to go right around the outside of Flip Flip there. So we may have commentated cursed Flip Flip here, as he's not going to be the man to have the good position. It looks like, geez, that's Porsche's really had some damage to the front end of the vehicle. And what is, I think that's Pollux round. No, it isn't. It's let me find it. I think it might be Matt. No, it's not Matt. No, yeah, it must have been Matt, because now he's down at the back, so maybe Matt asking a bit too much of the rear tyres. It looks like once again that Nissan has a bit of damage as we proceed on to lap 2 now. Back to Cashnet, as he looks maybe to have a bit of damage on his front end. Very difficult for the drivers. Hey, what do you reckon about that start?
Oh, sorry, I was just actually looking at the start, and we maybe can all look together at the start again. So what we saw was a very, very good start by Cashnet. It was not a jump start, so he was quite at the edge. Then Pirelli also got a very good start, but ran a bit wide in the first corner, and Vectro took advantage of it. Got the inside line and got into P2. Later he spun, but yeah, it was a very good start by Cashnet, and I think it was base for a very good race for him. The race is not done yet, but he already pulled away a bit, so let's see how it will evolve.
Yes, I'd have to agree with that, as I'm taking a look at the replay of the start here, and it does look, yeah, Pirelli did get a little bit slow off the line, as Vector was able to be the man to have the run on it. And it looks like Ibridge is actually the man up here in 3rd place, setting the good times in that Ferrari. So maybe there's a bit of an advantage of the Ferrari power here, as he's sitting happy just behind Pirelli by about a second. as they come up to turn 14 now. Still on lap 2 here, a lot of laps ahead of us, 31 laps still to come now as Cashnet is just pulling away so quickly in these conditions. I reckon, I'm not going to commentate a curse him now, but I reckon he's probably the favourite for now as they come down this straight here. And once again, Allo Chance, the man in the Porsche, even with a damaged car, he's still able to pull out a decent cap on Vector of about 3 seconds on Vector there in the Lamborghini. So Jordan, do you reckon that damage to Allo Champs is aerodynamic damage, or do you reckon it's maybe something a bit more internal?
Well, looking at the damage, it's definitely going to affect the aero. That car will be slower in the straight line, without a doubt. So that's going to make his job a hell of a lot harder. He's going to get out the curve, he's spot on every time. But I think the way he went into the lane, basically what happened was flip, and Origins was right on him, coming out of turn 11. Just the long right hand through up to the descent, and it looks like they just got collected with each other and straight into the wall. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a bit of suspension damage on the front right at that time.
Yes, it looks like Flip's really starting to struggle now on these wet tyres. As personally seen the GT3 cars go around at the Melbourne Grand Prix when I was at the Formula 1 here in Australia. These GT3 cars, I can tell you, they're absolutely amazing. They always put up good performance here, and sitting in one in myself, it felt like home. But getting back to this race now, 30 laps still approach us here as Cashnet, a man still in the lead, now pulling out a 5-second gap to Ferrelli now, as Ferrelli and iBridge looks like the two to maybe start to pull back on Cashnet a little bit there, as they're starting to actually gain a little bit of time, the Audi driver and the Ferrari driver, as Allo Chance still looks to be closing in on the Ferrari there, only about a second behind the pair as they come up now into turn 13, and it looks like Ferrelli's not running his windscreen wipers, so maybe he's just favouring these conditions and looking through his windscreen without too much of spray kicking up. I guess he's got no one really that far in front of him, so he doesn't really have to worry too much about spray, but it does look like there's a little bit of puddles forming onto the track. So maybe we could see some late spins. Allo Chance is definitely having a look up the inside there of iBridge, but iBridge claims his corner there and doesn't let Allo Chance have a little sneak through, because once that Porsche is going to get in front of that Ferrari, it's going to start slowing the two down, and definitely going to give a bit more of a gap to Ferrelli, as Vector's just starting to lose pace on the front runners up here. The top four look to be very strong, as it looks like, no, that was just the foreground of the camera there, as iBridge is still setting relatively okay lap times, only 3 seconds behind Cashnet in the Audi driver. But, oh my god, look at that spray. How do you see through a cracked windscreen and that much spray? You've got to think, as Pirelli goes out there a little wide, as we're now down to only 10 runners, so there was a little bit of, we started with 13, we've lost 3 runners now, which is pretty disappointing to see. But we haven't spoke much about Hussa. He looks like maybe a little bit of a dark horse, as he's only got about it's a 3-second gap to Matt in front of him in the Lamborghini, as Pete behind him in the Cadillac. Looks to, what's Pete up to? Pete stopped his car on the track there, which is very interesting. So now Flip's, I don't know what's wrong with Pete's car, as he's now out of the race, so that's a race over for Pete's car, maybe a mechanical failure, something like that. But we'll get back to the front runners. Jordan, what do you reckon about this man Cashnet? Do you reckon he's just got the Max Verstappen touch and just able to pull out a gap whenever he feels?
I don't know the setups, and it's quite hard. I mean, he could well have that ability, without a doubt, but as he set the car up, the more could be started away with the rain. For all we know, I think it's Allo Chance now in 2nd place.
Yes, Allo Chance is taking the double.
And I think this is what I'm showing. I think Alasham's has also got the same idea as Cashman. I think they've got more wet setups compared to the rest of the field. But it could be interesting if it does try and load the first condition later. If we do go to slick tyres, and that is going to be a massive gamble with the standard motor with the track.
Yes, that will be a massive gamble with the standing water, as we just see the track here a little bit, not a little bit, very greasy, as the Audi driver looks to maybe have a little bit of a move up the inside of Alo Chance, but I haven't seen Alo Chance up in second place before, so he looks very strong with, I'm presuming that if he does make a pit stop, he's maybe going to get that damage fixed, but he looks like he's maintaining it quite well. The smart thing would be to get that car fixed, but then again he is drifting around these corners as that Porsche's front end is sitting up nice and high on the bonnet, so definitely his lights aren't going to be working as they're practically inside the front wheels. So it's very funny now, still down to 9 runners with now 4 retired, so that's very interesting. As here in Australia the sun's rising at a frosty, about 6 o'clock in the morning for me it is, as apparently Alo Chance has got an invalidated lap time there, as he maybe ran a bit wide on the curbs, but Highbridge looks like the favoured one, only a second behind the Audi driver. Do you reckon that Ferrari is good in the wet, because it looked a little slow in the qualifying dry, so do you reckon he might have the advantage in the wet?
If there is a manage, there's not much there. Would be able to pull it back road, but again, it's whether he's playing a long game and maybe not pushing it as hard, trying to save the tyres into a bit more. And potentially, fuel consumption here, I mean, running in the draft and in the car, that's going to help him massively. If you can save a bit of fuel below to run it a bit richer.
Yeah, you'd have to. You'd have to agree with that in regards to strategy. Is Mayo, we haven't spoken much about him either, and also the man of Matt just sitting happy behind him by about a second. They do look quite competitive, maybe trying to close the gap to Vector. It's about a 3-second gap once, 2-second gap once again, as they head into turn 1 here. Looks like a little bit less amount of traction on Mayo's car, as he's got a little bit of a loose end, as once again Matt's looking for the overtake. When won't Matt go for the overtake? That's the question. It looks like maybe Ibridge has a little bit of damage to his front end, as they head down out of turn 3 now. Turn 5 now. Sorry, I've got that completely wrong. But yeah, if drivers do need to make a pit stop time, it's around about 53 seconds just to change tyres. That's no fuel, no damage, just tyres. So that'll be very interesting in these wet conditions. If in doubt that they do need to make a pit stop, then the top 3 are all separated by about 5 seconds or so. Sorry, no, from 2nd place to 4th place, it's about 3 seconds or so. But Kashner is just running away with now 10 seconds away from Alo Chance. So I reckon that's Audi's setup for wet.
That damage is costing Alo Chance at least a second, I think. He's losing around 7/10 a lot with that damage, so it could be, if he does fix it, how much faster can he go? But,
yeah, that's the question, but
will you make the time?
yeah, that's definitely the one, because in the pit stop it's going to cost you about, I don't know, with that damage, maybe another 30-40 seconds or so, which really is not long in the real world.
Well, without knowing the full extent of if it's into the suspension, it could take potentially a minute of extra time.
Yeah, that could put him in a lap down. With all the drivers still within a lap, so they haven't been lapped just yet. Lap 7 now as they cross the line. As it looks like Alo Chance starting to pull out a bit of a gap on Ferrelli there, the British man compared to the Swede, as they head into turn 1 now. Ferrelli looking very good in the Audi. Maybe got a bit of a drier setup, maybe going to be a bit faster. And again, we do need to think now, Alo Chance and Cashnet going to be quick in the dry. If it does start to dry out on the track, they said they had a prediction of light rain to heavy rain and then to overcast by the end of the race, so maybe there could be a bit of a close. If Pirelli can stay this close to Allo Champs the whole race, maybe we could see the two drivers of Pirelli and iBridge maybe start to close into Allo Champs and Cashnet quite quickly, as Allo Champs looks to be closing into Cashnet by about a tenth a lap or so. As I say that, it goes another second down, which is once again giving a bit of commentator curse. Hey, we haven't spoken to you very much. What do you predict for this race?
Yeah, so far it evolved like I predicted before the race. Cashnet got a very good setup. Pirelli is still struggling a bit with the setup. Actually, so it seems to me. Maybe he didn't adjust it after the patch. That might be a reason for struggling, because you have to remember Pirelli won the last 3 races. He was really on a strike, but now the championship chances are a bit shuffled again. Cashnet was in the lead in the beginning of the season. At the moment, other champs is leading. Pirelli was not available for the first 2 races, if I recall it correctly, but got a lot of wins, 1 second place, the rest was all winnings by him. So let's see. Cashnet is quite on a comeback today. Maybe rain is his favorite condition, I don't know. But for the championship it will be quite interesting with the top 3 guys in top 3 at the moment. Adult champs with 165 points ahead of Pirelli at the moment with 144. Behind him is Cashnet with 140. So they are close up again. With Cashnet winning this race, it will be quite close, quite interesting for the rest of the season.
Yes, I definitely have to agree with that. As we looked on to Vectro, the Devil's number straight after in 666, as he's sitting happy in 5th place here. Once again, Cashnet definitely pulling out that gap, as looks like quite a lot of puddles starting to be formed. And that Lamborghini looks to have a little bit too much water on the bottom of that car, so maybe he's starting to lose a little bit of rear traction there through most of the corners, as I see a little bit of a brake lock there. Even though he's running ABS, it was a little bit of a brake lock on the front end. You gotta remember that the brake temps in these cars get around about to 500 degrees is about the good operating temperature. Between 300 and 500 degrees is the optimal temperature here for the drivers, as they make it nicely down 4 seconds to iBridge. So Vectro is going to definitely starting to push to catch that Ferrari just in front of him. But the big story once again, as we said, can Allo Champ start to close in Cashnet? He is 9 seconds away from him, and Pirelli only 2 seconds, as it looks like Pirelli and iBridge just can't be separated for now. And if I was there, I might have my visor down. I wouldn't have it open for now. I might bloody drown. For you never know with GT3 leagues. There's always something to throw up, as it looks like the Ferrari gets a little bit on the rear end there. Definitely a lot of spray. He's going to be. Yeah, he has got a very good run in this middle sector. Maybe the Ferrari running a bit more. Yes. It looks like there's a bit of a quite big puddle off turn 14 there, and I think that caught Vector out before when Theo was talking, as he went over the curb there. Very interesting now, and also the thing that I want to know is Flip gonna be able to pull it back. It looks like he hasn't got too much damage to his front end. It does look like he might have a bit of damage to suspension. He's looking a bit hard on the steering there.
I think he's definitely got a bit of suspension damage there. He's not pushing it through the corner at all. I think he's just surviving at this point in time. I'm surprised can see there as he's coming into under the brakes, the front end's trying to wander all over the shop. I'm surprised he's not
Yeah.
come in the pits to fix that.
Yeah, if I was him, I'd be coming in now. Fresh rubber, fresh car, fresh mind. Come out of the pits and try to push your absolute maximum. They probably won't have to fill up on fuel here. I'm not expecting a full fill up. The number 23 driver looking good though in the Nissan in qualifying, but however in the race he did not deliver. Matt's actually moved down the order there as Hussa has got in front of him. We haven't spoke too much of Hussa. Obviously, Flip-Flip's teammate, I believe, as he comes through, I think that's turn 8 and 9 there, or it's 5 and 6. It's either or, that middle sector can be a little bit devious, as LA Champs looks like to be pulling a bit more of a lead on Pirelli now. Last time we spoke about it, it was 2 seconds. Now he's moved it to about 4 seconds. So the Porsche looking very good. Little bit of a turbo discharge on the rear end if I have a bit of a yawn. So Jordan, do you reckon, I'm thinking that with 33 laps, it might need to have a pit stop for these new wet tyre regulations. So do you reckon there will be a pit stop?
I think it's in the pits probably in about 4 or 5 laps time, because once the heavy rain hits, you don't want to be on the tyres. I'm sure, and the rain is definitely heavy now. So you don't want to be on warm tyres, and if they're about halfway warm, you want to be coming and getting yourself some fresh rubber. Go out, and then you'll make time back up on the
Just flicking through the drivers here and looking at Ibridge and Pirelli's fuel. Pirelli looks like the man to be running the lowest fuel. I don't know, let's take a look at Cashnet. Cashnet's a bit lower on fuel, so they might do a bit of fuel saving throughout the Grand Prix. If I was Cashnet, I'd just be trying to push as much as possible. I wouldn't really mind on how much fuel's in the car. I'd just be trying to push her as much as possible and see what type of times I can get out of the car. But the fastest time set for now is a 2 minute 18.6. Sorry, 2 minute 18.499 set by Alochamp. So he is the fastest driver on track for now, even with the damaged car.
No, Cashnet's got fastest laps so far. 2:15.9.
Oh, 2:15.9. Wow. Okay. Sorry, my timing must be wrong. But we are on lap 10 now, so only 23 laps remaining. Still a long time in the Grand Prix for things to be decided, weather to play a fact. And definitely some maybe elusive spins on puddles, as puddles do look like to be getting heavier. Looking in the gravel there is a lot more puddling on the track, and definitely on the circuit there's a lot more puddling. But
sorry to butt anything. Something I have noticed between the field is that Cashnet is the only one running no assist. Everyone else is running traction over the race. Maybe that will key in the first phase of this race, having the ability, because the traction here will be bogging the cars down, coming out the cars as you're trying to apply the proper. So I wonder if that is part of the reason he's managed to get away so far in that first part of the race.
I'm thinking that might be. I think it's a combination of things: driver skill, driver preference, setup, the way that the car feels under your foot, and this track definitely punishes if you have a heavy right foot. So if you do run wide, it's not going to give you much respect. If you do, it's not a tarmacked runoff area. So most of the runoff areas here are dirt and gravel, and then the elusive barrier. So it's very very difficult for the drivers to keep tame under these conditions. As you can see, that puddle starting to form there in turn 3 as Ibridge is turning his lights on. Maybe a little bit of a flash, maybe trying to get some avoidance from Pirelli and trying to move up to P3. He has been sitting behind him most of the race now, and surprised that his engine's not starting to overheat as he around the outside for a bit there, and then it moved to the inside. Sorry, moved from the inside to the outside. He's definitely in that Ferrari. It's definitely not slow, as he's maxing out at about 210 kilometers an hour down that straight there. 14 seconds between the two from Cashnet as Cashnet now on lap 11 with these drivers also on lap 11, but now Flip's gone a minute down, so he's at least around about 50 seconds away from Matt now. So the question is Cashnet going to sorry, not Cashnet, is Flip going to be starting to be lapped by Cashnet? That's a question that I'm running, and apparently Jordan, also known as JPH, is 17 minutes behind him, which is pretty funny. But no, that's the question. Is Cashnet maybe looking to have a couple of blue flag scenarios in this race?
Well, having a look at it, Flip currently coming into turn 4, while Cashnet's now approaching turn 14 in off the corner track, so it's definitely got half the track, half the course left, because in the wet conditions, slightly longer to catch the back markers. But that could get interesting. I'm amazed Flip's not just coming to repair the damage. I mean, he's losing so much time out there at the moment.
I don't know, maybe it's maybe he doesn't even have damage, maybe he's just struggling with the conditions. As once again we do look at the fuel from Cashnet, 64.2 laps of fuel. It's as he goes over the curb there, I think that was that puddle catching him out. Once again, maybe he doesn't expect that puddle started to form. As I noticed that Pollux retired, that Porsche, the colour of the Porsche, thought it was Pollux for a minute, but I noticed that he did retire, so maybe there was a problem with the back runners there. Maybe they just gave up in the conditions. Maybe they didn't feel that the car was feeling too great. Excuse me as I yawn again. Once again, early morning here in Australia. For the people over in Europe, it's late afternoon, late night. So yes, as we see the Porsche still setting good sector times there, only 9 seconds now behind Cashnet. Still a huge gap, and 4 seconds. He's maintaining that gap to Pirelli just behind him. And the question is, will you start to? I'd start to push now. Because I'm thinking that there's now going to be a pit stop. We've been on these tyres for 12 laps now. So drivers really do look to be maybe struggling a bit in those conditions, as lap times have started to slow down a bit by about 2 seconds. Apparently Iberich has had a problem there. He's fallen a second behind Pirelli now, which is concerning. Jordan, do you reckon? I'm thinking that Iberich is maybe starting to back off a bit from Pirelli and waiting for a mistake from the Audi driver.
He could, I wonder if he's just backing off and now just waiting. Maybe he's going to go for a bit of a local cut of pit stops now. He's going to get a bit of fresh air, so that when it comes time he can really put the hammer down for the dinner. You could judge anything on the fact that he dropped down. It could be that Ferrari's just picked the pace up a bit. He's decided that there's more time to go. A bit of a gap ready for
I'm thinking that those cones at the pit entry there. Ooh, that puddle's really starting to catch people out now. As we'll head on board with Iberich now. Just take a look at what the conditions are looking like. Track's still looking very greasy, very overcast conditions. I want to see if this puddle's here at turn 2, or else I'm going to look like a fool. I'm almost certain that there's going to be a puddle here. Yeah, there's that puddle, so that's the one that caught the Audi driver out of Cashnet when he hopped over the curbs on lap 11. It looks like that puddle's really started to largen there, as also the puddle out of turn, I think it's either turn 14 or turn 15. Out of the track there, so it's right on exit when you start to put the power down. That corner can definitely catch you out. As we do see, yeah, Flyboy's still really slow, but Matt's just set a 2:37, so maybe there might be a bit of a problem with the Lamborghini driver. Doesn't look like he has any damage. Maybe he's just, I'm thinking that he's just, oh, yep, once again he's been caught out by the puddle. I'm thinking that he might just have a problem with the car, as yeah, Flip's definitely a good decent way behind him by about 7 seconds, but now Cashnet's increased that gap from Allo Chance to him by, around about 11 seconds or so now. As Cashnet's still pushing here on lap 13. It's about 10 laps to go for, sorry, not 10 laps to go. 20 laps to, maybe, no, yeah, 20 laps to go from now. Until the end of the Grand Prix, so it's still got a decent way until the Grand Prix is finished. Still a lot of mistakes to happen. Still a lot of maybe even pit stops to happen. And I'll definitely be intrigued to talk to some of the drivers after the commentary to find out on how those cars felt in these type of conditions as Allo Champs gets rid of the rest of the cones there. On the old pit entrance there. The pit entrance right where Allo Chance was just there. So if drivers follow that black line, they'll definitely be getting a, that black tarmac, they'll definitely be getting a bit of a penalty there, I'm gonna presume. As, yeah, Allo Chance is still kind of, excuse me once again, kind of dawdling between the times there between Cashnet and Allo Champs. Sweden, the British man, looking to still start to have a bit of a push now. Ferrelli's increased his gap by about 2 seconds now compared to Ibridge, which is
just struggling with puddles a bit. And the end of that car is not happy with the standard water.
I'm definitely thinking that it's not happy with that with the standing water. Definitely big puddles to be formed around Brno GP today, as we can see once again the puddles in the gravel. So if you do go half, there might be a bit of a problem with the car. Once again, you get gravel on these tires, and they're not going to respond to you. But 67 laps of fuel, sorry, 67 liters of fuel. I got that wrong last week saying laps, but 67 liters of fuel. Car still looking very stable, however, in the front end. Rear end looking a little bit loose. But Ferrelli's definitely started to pick up the pace now. He's set a 2:19 last lap, as that was very annoying. On my iPad, Siri came up when I said Ferrelli, so that's very interesting. Anyway, yeah, Ferrelli definitely starting to pick up the pace now, so he's only 2 seconds behind Allo Champs now. So now the question is Ferrelli going to make the move for second place?
I think he's saved his tires quite nicely here for push. He's definitely under pressure as to whether he can fix it or how much he fixes it. This could be interesting if Ferrelli putting in a few lap times here. Definitely saved his tires and he's working well with it. Stage of the race,
yeah, we're definitely coming up to the halfway mark with about 2 laps to go to the halfway mark of the race, and definitely looks like Ibridge is starting to struggle with the puddles there. Definitely his drivers are braking at about 75-meter board for the for turn 1, and some of these corners, if you start to get lazy on the steering, start to get lazy on the brakes, and get a little bit too greedy on the accelerator pedal, you might spin, and you'll definitely be unforgiving around this circuit, as Ibridge is coming up with a little triangle there. Still down to 9 runners, as we haven't really spoken much about Mayer. He's obviously Ibridge's teammate, sitting happy in 6th place with Vector just in front of us. Vector is definitely not just in front of him. He's in front of him by about 16 seconds, 15 seconds or so. As yeah, definitely the Ferrari driver looking like maybe just to take it slow. He's still got a good halfway to go in this race, with the drivers looking pretty happy of fuel. They started with about 80 laps of fuel, maybe 90 laps of fuel. So yeah, they do look. Excuse me. They do look very confident right now, as apparently Matt's got a symbol. Ooh, Matt's off. Caught out by that paddle once again, as Flip Flips now got by. Flip Flips moved up a position. This is the first I've ever said for Flip Flip He's moved up a position in the standings. Do you reckon that was Gordon? Do you reckon that was a problem with the car, or maybe they were having a battle? Got to think that was a problem with the car.
I think that was I think he's gone off. He's gone off the road there, and he's just trying to get these things off on sort of grass in this sort of condition. It's not fun. I can guarantee anyone trying to get going again and absolutely really works with time.
Yeah, that's definitely one to talk about. You will lose a lot of time, as I was talking about before. Getting into that gravel, it's going to start to impact the car a bit. As yeah, we're back on board with off board with Flip now. So I think, yeah, it's once again, we've talked about internal damage, and I think it is, yeah, breaking into that corner. During the dry, it was taking a lot sharper apex, but during the exit of corners, the car's just not responding. Even with assist, you can see he's just feathering the throttle there. Still keeping on the throttle when downshifting and ease round. Yep. Oh, that was...
The fact that he's not actually reaching full throttle at all round here at the moment just shows how much he's got underneath the car. I think
yeah, definitely.
That's just showing it even further, the fact that he was sawing away at the steering wheel, just trying to keep it in check.
Yeah, it's definitely right, as it looks like Pirelli's managed to catch up to Allo Champs now. Only 6 tenths behind the Porsche driver, as you can see. You see Cashnet just ahead of them there by 10 seconds, just going through the downhill descent. And it looks like Pirelli is going to start to maybe have a little bit of a look onto the Porsche driver. Jordan, do you reckon he will be able to make the overtake?
I think the way his car is running, definitely he's getting much better aerodynamic. Without the damage, he's going to have more top speed, so I think it's only a matter of time before he gets something decent.
Yeah, that's definitely one to think about as Pirelli. Yeah, he's definitely having a look through corners. He might go for the position here on the brakes. No, he doesn't. He backs off and lets Al. Sausage. Yeah. Yeah, and Matt's in the pits, which is very interesting now as he comes into the pit lane here. I reckon that's a change of tyres, maybe. He's going onto the slick tyres, it looks like there. Maybe that was just more fuel, or maybe it was damage. That's
a very short pit stop to be tyres, I would say.
Yeah, I'm thinking it might have just been tyres. As we run through the race rundown here, we haven't talked about Mayo too much. He's quite a cheater there in sixth place. Once again, Ibridge still catching up to the 2 here as Pirelli still looks to maybe want that position really bad on Allo Champs, but Matt has now been lapped. He's 2 minutes behind, so Flip still looks to be pulling out the pace here as they head down into turn 5 and 6, I believe this is. Pirelli still looks to be the man to want this second place very well. He heads a little bit wide. The rear tyres starting to give up to you. Hio, what do you reckon about Matt's pit stop? Do you reckon that was for tyres, or what do you think it was?
Yeah, from the time he did the pit stop, it should be tyres. It's half time now. We will see probably some drivers going to the pits in the next few laps, like Kusa is doing right now. Maybe some of the drivers really want to wait for the rain to stop to go for the slicks, but I guess the drivers now pitting will still get the rain tires.
Yeah, they'll...
So it'd be interesting what times the guys who just come out of the pits will set, or whether get anywhere near Cashnet, because if they do, that's going to send a bit of a signal to the rest of the pack to get in, get tired, and try and make the time up.
Ooh, yep. Husa looks like to be on the on cold tyres there, so maybe he has gone to slick tyres. I'm not sure. He's got those nice Michelin tyres on, so I really don't think it's time for slicks.
I believe he's on wet.
Alright, he's on wets. That's good to know then. And apparently Allo Champs has been passed. No, Allo Champs is in the pits.
Let's see how long it is, because it does have damage really fix it.
The question, he's filling up on fuel there. Apparently he's been let go. Thinking that
That'll be fixing damage.
Finally he's thought it through a little bit. As Vector passed him up there. As it looks like he didn't want to really have the battle with Pirelli, but now that's opened up Bridge to maybe get the run on Pirelli here on old tyres. Got the damage fixed there, and his lights can work once again, which is good. So he can see now. This Swede still gonna see what times he's gonna be put in. Now the question is, will he have changed tyres? I'm thinking that he would have changed tyres. As he gets out in front of Mayo there, so really quick.
You came out the pits with warm tyres there, so and I know they use tyre blankets in this.
Yeah, so
definitely a change of tyres in that.
Yeah, that's very good. Is it? I think that's I heard a driver off there. Not sure on who it was. The question is now, was it? I think it was Matt. Went off. A bit of a problem in the background. As he lets Allo Champs.
At the moment, he's really struggling into that car.
He's definitely struggling. We haven't seen Cashnet come in yet for a pit stop, so maybe he's just taking it easy. As Hussa's in for another pit stop, so it's very interesting. Maybe he did go to the slick compound. No, he's definitely not gone to the slick compound tyre. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, that's definitely the wet tyres.
Unless it didn't big changes to it. Remember the cars that you come for a pit stop and you don't actually change your tyres.
That's very interesting as we head back to Allo Champs again. He didn't fill up on fuel there, I didn't think, or maybe he did. I think I might have mentioned that he did fill up on fuel. I did see the fuel man move, so I think he has filled up on fuel a little bit there. It would be the safe thing to do. That's what I'd be doing. But we've still got a decent amount of laps left. 15 laps left in the Grand Prix. So the question is now, will we see slick conditions start to approach the drivers? As Cashnet is now on lap 19. Pirelli trailing him by 11 seconds. Now the thing that I want to say, there's a big puddle there now at turn 15, and that's going to catch some of the drivers out now. I'm going to believe. So we see Ibridge still behind Pirelli by about 2 seconds there. So it's going to be a difficulty. Matt still hasn't set a competitive time. And Matt's in the pits again, which is really interesting. So maybe he's got the same thing where the team didn't change the tyres. It's like the slick tyres to me. So isn't Matt thinking that he needs the slick tyres on? Maybe he's got damage. I'm a bit unsure. It's very interesting. I definitely don't think it's time for slick tyres, but Jordan, I'll let you take it away.
Obviously, I can see the status on here, and it's still showing that he's on wet tyres, so very interesting the fact that him and Matt's had to come back in the pits. Very strange. You wouldn't have wanted, because our Champs hasn't come back in yet, and he has made a pit stop, so.
As we now see Flip into the pits, so this is very interesting activity. but both the Nissan drivers have come into the pit lane now. So this is a question I want to ask. By the way, if you're wondering what that other car in the pit lane's doing sitting in the pit garage, it's alright. It's our commentator down, Jordan, down in the pit lane. So don't worry about that. That's not a car that's just chilling there. Doesn't feel like going out. But it looks like maybe Flip's having a bit of a problem as Husser's in the pit lane now. So will the pit garage be filled up now? And he's got to watch out for yeah. Flip did make a pretty good exit there. Didn't manage to hit his teammate, which is good as that. Looks like damage onto the front end. He's got his tyres changed once again. The accelerates a bit.
He's just 2 seconds quicker than
wow, that's interesting. Even on old tyres from Pirelli. And looks a little bit.
Have a look at Aero Champs actually at the moment. He's at a 2:15 last lap.
6, yeah, that's a phenomenal lap.
Husser went wide there. I think that was a 2:15.6. God, that's quick on fresh tyres.
Fastest lap of the race, is it? Oh no, Matt. Yeah, fastest lap of the race for Aero Champs there. The 2:15.6.
I'll pop the split times up here, just so everyone can have a look on the overlay here as Allo Champs with the final 13 laps remaining here for the drivers. Very interesting to see Allo Champs on fresh rubber and an undamaged car, even though it still looks damaged. They I think they might have just fixed suspension, maybe not aerodynamics, maybe he had a problem with steering. His car does look very fast now, the number 77 driver. Does still look to be the one in favour, as Vector's now moved up to P4 after Allo Champ's pit. Bridge still looking very strong in P3 here with the two Audis once again blocking out, and he's managed to pull it down from an 11-second gap now down to an 8-second gap to Cashnet, and this will be very interesting to see. Oh, that puddle is definitely getting very difficult for the drivers with their traction and trying to put the traction down on the racetrack here. It'll be very interesting to see if the drivers are able to push as hard as possible now, as Pirelli has a little bit of a slide there in his rear tyres. Apparently Matt has a penalty as well. And I want to know what's going on with Mayo. I haven't seen much activity from him. Still, once again, quite a achiever in 6th place there. Do you reckon, what do you reckon's going on with Mayo?
I think the car's at a point where you can push it much further. And sorry to do something, but Allo Champs are 2:14.3 there on this lap.
Wow, that's quick.
That's
jeez.
Not Pirelli. Pirelli's either got to come now or stick it out till dry weather comes, because that is quick from that Porsche.
Yeah, that is definitely quick. Seems like that damage that he has been fixed now. But just looking down the board, even drivers setting bloody 3-minute lap times and things like that. With Husser setting a 2-minute 59.8, so that's not very quick.
Potentially coming out of the pits, or you have an issue through the corners, going a bit wide and going off maybe.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking that it's that. But just taking a look at Allo Champs' his temperature on the little speedo display that we have here. His engine is very hot, so maybe he's got some radiator damage. As the Ferrari's a lot cooler. Audi's still reasonable temp, and Cashnet second highest as look down the board. Yeah, the Ferraris look relatively stable in the temperatures, with Allo Champs just following so closely to Vector in front of him. It's about a 4-second gap, and he's been chasing about a second per lap and pulling out a second from Mayo just behind him. So it's very interesting to see that this Lamborghini's. And once again, we got to think that Allo Champs might be held up by the driver I think that's Flip there. Yes, it is. The Nissan driver, who's a lap car. Hello Chance has got to be the one to think that he's got to get there around that car very quickly, and we hope that Flip gives him the room to do that. Once again, I've spoken about this this corner, turn 15. Has that puddle dried up there? No, it hasn't. If you went to slick tyres now, I'm pretty sure you'd be very slow, and with these back marker drivers like Flip, like Whistle, like Matt, you got to think when the optimum time is to go to slick tyres, and you got to take the risk, unfortunately. And now's definitely
2:13.7 Marachan's in that Porsche. He'll rip the time out of everyone.
Wow, he's now got another second on the fastest lap as Flip lets him through very well there. Well done by the Nissan driver, very responsible. And you can see just on Hello Chance, the way that he drives is holding a little bit of brake, a little bit of acceleration into the corner just to get the RPM up in that V6 turbo-powered Porsche twin exhaust. As once again, look at the temperature on that car. It's very warm.
We are running without mechanical failures, so the temperature doesn't really matter.
Oh, the temperature doesn't matter. Okay.
It's a big difference because I wonder when because it closed his radiator open, because that one increased the top speed of the car. And then so it increased the top speed by about 5 miles an hour when that one's closed. So if he's the only one running the close, he's got the top speed down straight as well.
Yeah, some would argue that he's got better than the Audi and the Lamborghini's top speed. Obviously, the V10 cars in the GT3 class. But the question is, can he get them moved down into turn 10 on Lamborghini? A bit far back there. 310, so I wouldn't be going for the move. But it looks like the fresh rubber's giving him the opportunity. He heads up the inside. He's on the rear left. And Vector's going to have to give him room here as they head up to turn 11. And, he's outbroke himself a little bit there. Vector might... That was amazing. I think that this natural Porsche downforce that we were talking about definitely has the speed over him as Vector moves now down to P5. So now you got to think as Vectro. I've been calling him Vector this whole time. Vectro goes over that puddle there and gets her a little bit wide, as I talked about. Probably maybe a little bit of a penalty of some sort, or maybe just losing time. But now you got to think, when will I come in for fresh rubber? It's probably a bit late now with 10 laps remaining to come in for another set of the wet compound tyres. I'd probably now stick it out until the dry compounded tyres. But meanwhile, we haven't spoken too much about Pirelli lately. 6-second gap now to Cashnet, and he's definitely started to pull out some time here. Fuel looks alright for now. It's about a litre per lap, like I've said. Maybe a litre 0.5 per lap. Definitely he's pulling out the speed.
Good lap times here. And also, with those old tyres, he's been here 2:15. So, how much did he actually time save in his first 2/3 of the race? That's very interesting to know.
And I should probably commentate on this replay that we have as we see Hello Chance once again go right around the outside of Vectro there into turn 11 and 12. We said that no one could overtake through there, but we did say that if you can get the run, it's definitely optional for the car to have that once again natural downforce from the Porsche, which definitely helped him there with the high speed.
From Alashams there, because the way you go around the flat side of this one, the wind was involved first. So if you can force a defending driver to the other side, they've got to go over and not from larger cars to push closest into the comp because of the chance of spinning. So it's a brilliant plan of attack into turn 12 and 13.
Yeah, definitely I have to agree with that one. As Pirelli looks like to be closing up to Cashnet. Yeah, very quickly. He's now
now putting the proper time 2:14.6 there from the leader.
Definitely sent a message to Hello Chance there saying, this is what I can do, let's go out and play. As once again we see those sausage curves, those infinite sausage curves. We did say that they were the same colour as as the curbing, and they definitely are. It looks like the track's drying out a little bit though. There's definitely a dry line emerging, but there's still quite a lot of spray. We'll actually take a look on the on board from Cashnet's car. Looks like, yeah, the track's drying out a little bit. Looks like it's actually stopped raining. With about 9 laps to go from now, it's I think it'll be an interesting one.
I don't think we're going to see it in the times on this day. I don't see it it's just a bit too much surface water. Definitely try and really eventually, but how long
Oh, now Elo Chance has set a 2-minute 11.3, and Matt setting a 2-minute 12. So, sorry, 2-minute 13 now, but Matt set a 2-minute 12 provisionally there, so you can definitely see that the track's definitely starting to dry out a bit and heat up a bit. But yes, that was just amazing with Elo Chance to the 2-minute 11.3. That's definitely quick. Only about 10 seconds off his qualifying time in these wet conditions as the spray's stopped there. So maybe, I know you said that we might not see dry tyres here, but I'm thinking that we might see some dry tyres here. Still quite a lot of spray, however. Definitely I'd be thinking about making up a new strategy now. And maybe setting the dry tyre for your next box if you have to make one. As we move on to lap 25 now. Still a small amount of laps left, about 8 laps, about 7 to 8 laps left to these drivers as Cashnet still pulling away very slightly. Pirelli's round, and I think he's just caught that puddle. I think that's what I was talking about before. Definitely, well, let's take a look at iBirch. Yeah, it looks like that puddle might still be there. We'll take a look at Elo Champs. We'll check if that puddle's there. Yeah, that puddle's definitely there, so I think, yeah, Elo Champs even had a bit of a twitch on it. So that puddle's definitely caught out Pirelli in these closing laps, and he's now got a 12-second gap to his teammates, so I think that's a mistake that's given Cashnet the lead there as iBirch went a bit wide there, but you can definitely see that a dry line has emerged very quickly on the lap, or a drier line, not completely dry as spray is still being kicked up, but it's definitely stopped raining for now. Question is, will you stick it out on wet tyres, or will you come in for a box and see what time you can set as Elo Champs a 2-minute 10.179. That's mental.
What more interesting is that Pirelli set a 2-minute 11.7 on these old tyres before he spun. So
yeah, that I think
in those old tyres.
Yeah, I think he's, yeah, like you said, I think he saved his tyres and then pushed in these closing laps. But I think 12 seconds might be a bit tough to catch Cashnet, unless Cashnet has a spin or something like that. Theo, do you reckon we'll see dry tyres come in?
Yeah, probably for the top 2 runners. So Ferrari B and the Audi, they saved their tires quite well and waited for the rain to stop. Now they can get new tires, but actually the race is almost over, so it's 7 laps to go. That's not that much. It depends. I haven't tried how big of a gap there is between the wet tires and the dry tires in the dry, or on a drying track. If it's enough to compensate for the pit stop time. So if they want to pit, they should pit next lap or the lap after, but after that I don't think it makes any sense to pit again, because it takes a long time, and then you maybe even come up with like 5 seconds per lap better, but it's not worth it, I guess.
Yeah, that's definitely one to agree with, as as we see the Ferrari come down that definitely dry line, as I think Aloe Chance has gone quicker there by about 1/10 of a second. I think he has, which is that's very interesting. Let's take a look at the timings just real quick. It's definitely looking very quick as Flip set a new fastest lap as well, but Matt still in his Lamborghini down there at P9. I think he does have a penalty and a little bit of damage to the side of the car, so maybe that could also be a suspension problem as he goes over the... Oh, he's into the pits. So now
this could be a blinder for slick tyres. This could be the first person to take the chance.
I want to see on what tyres he's going to go on. That's the question that I want to know. Oh, he's missed his pit stop. That's a little embarrassing. As they come back to service his car, looks like they might have put on very quick stock, so I'm thinking that was the dry tyres. He's in his pit lane, maybe it's 4 damage, but now he's gone 5 minutes behind, so 2 laps behind now, as I think this is Pirelli passing him now. Yes, it is. So yeah, that's the question. Will Matt be the I think that is dry tyres. I don't know if you can confirm that for me, as it looks like
my screen still says wet, so
maybe he has gone onto another set of the wets as he's kind of slow out of the pit lane there to let Aloe Chance through. Aloe Chance has set a 2:08.9. He's gone 2 seconds faster than his fastest lap.
That is impressive, but the problem is the cars in front of him are also starting to do quicker. He's taken 4 out of high bridges, and so he's going to go high bridges very soon, but he's not going to get Pirelli or Cashnet if they both stay on.
Pirelli has also set a 1:10, but what I'm interested in is this man Flip setting the 2:10.3. That's very competitive with the Nissan and the way that he's been driving lately. Still looks like the wet tyres are the faster one from now. Not too much spray from the car, but that looks like a little bit of a puddle or so. But Aloe Chance still the man as Cashnet sets 2:10. So now the question is, does Cashnet know what times Aloe Chance has been setting? And the question is now, will Cashnet respond to that and set a fastest lap? Maybe even faster than Aloe Chance on fresh rubber.
I think it would very much depend on what type of hard setup Cashnet runs, because if he's got the timing screens on the top left to show where his position is, he's going to notice that Aloe Chance is closing in. But if he doesn't know it, I don't think he'll notice it.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. As Vectro also looks like to be... Oh no, that's not Vectro, that's Matt, sorry. As, I thought that was Vectro just behind Aloe Chance there. And it looks like Aloe Chance has still got the overall pace as he goes over the puddle there. Definitely, if you're on slick tyres, I think your car might be going round a bit there, as he's definitely closing up to I Bridge with just a second and a half away from him, so it'll be very interesting now with Aloe Chance apparently under pressure from something. Now the question is, will that blue flag car behind him of Matt's try to overtake him, and that'll probably slow him down a bit. Oh, Cashnet set a 1:09. Sorry, 2:09, not a 1:09. And so, wow, Pirelli just going a thousandth of a second quicker. Which is very interesting. So those two are setting practically identical times, which is really interesting, and neither of them is pit either. The track does look very dry now. Let's take a look on the onboard. Yeah, the track still looks a little bit greasy off the dry line, but I'd be looking. Matt's gone around. I think he tried to go for a move on Aloe Chance there.
Following Aloe Chance, turn 7 and we're just following him, and I wonder if he is mistakes because the back end did start to go quite early on, whereas our shows come very stable. I think back into that Lamborghini is he's got some 6 times.
5 laps to go here at Brno, as yes, the track is definitely drier. The drivers do look to be setting some competitive times there. Oh, Cashnet's set a fastest lap. Cashnet's set the fastest lap of the race with a 2-minute 8.495. That's going quicker than Allo Champs by a long way, by about 4/10, but that puddle's still looking very infamous, as they still can't get the run on Ibridge. Allo Champs is going to be looking to the inside of the track here. Can he maybe go for a bit of a dive? No, he's a bit far back, but he is going to be sticking onto the tail like glue. He's going to be following that exact line, and they've got to watch out for the puddle here at turn 2, and Allo Champs is onto the dirt, and I think that might have just been dirty air maybe from Allo Champs, as he's now going to be looking in his mirrors a bit here to watch out for the Lamborghini just behind him. But I think that's P3 done and dusted now, unless Ibridge spins, and he's going to let the Lamborghini maybe through here. But if I was Matt, I'd just be backing off. There's no way you're 3 minutes, but you're about 50 seconds behind the closest car, and I don't think you'll be catching anyone within that time, within 4 laps or so. If I was Matt, I'd be the one to switch to the dry tyres first and let everyone else respond to that. As we...
I am amazed at that Cash has put that time back with those times
And talking about timing, Allo Champs has gone better by about a tenth of a second there. So maybe that run on Ibridge maybe had a little bit of a problem to do with maybe a little bit of overheating from the tyres. As we can see, Cashnet come through here. But what I want to see is a driver go onto the apparently. Wow, that's
quick.
That's very quick. The track is definitely dry now. Even through those puddles will be drying up very quickly now. As Cashnet running a little bit lean on fuel, 15.1 laps there. He might, no, I don't think he'll have to save. I think he'll be alright to push to the end. But the top 4 there, setting relatively good times. Allo Chance has gone a bit slower. But definitely, yeah, Ibridge setting a 2-minute 9.4. That's a relatively good time from the Ferrari driver. So it goes down by a second from P3, 2-minute 9, 2-minute 8, 2-minute 7. And the question now is, I've said the question now is about 40 times now. It's such a questioning Grand Prix, as Matt's set a 2-minute 9.6 now, which is very interesting to see from the Lamborghini driver, maybe pushing a lot harder than his fellow mates, but I don't think he'll be catching Hussar anytime soon. Unfortunately, as we still take a look at Cashnet here, what is he able to do is Vectro seeing a 2-minute 10 there. It's going to be the battle of the times now, and what can the drivers do with 20 from Pirelli? I think he'll be relatively okay for now. As he's got relatively good traction, Pirelli has, on 30 lap old tyres.
What's more impressive is the fact that in these dry conditions, the actual tread blocks that are moving around a bit like jelly, they do not like the trail, and the fact that they keep going faster and faster is very impressive. Because those tires should be
definitely is like jelly. You just have to, you know, wobble around a bit and get it stable, as that looks like Ibridge is round, and Allo Chance is through. That is deferential for Ibridge. I think he just got a bit too early on the power there, and that was really unfortunate from Ibridge here on lap 30. That was sad to see from the Ferrari driver. It looked like to have the pace for the whole weekend, really. Good qualifying, good race, and that is Matt Round, I think it is. Yes, it is Matt's Round, and he's in the wall. Maybe try to move on Aloe Champs there, but Aloe Champs doesn't have to defend that move. Sorry, Aloe Champs is all in rights to defend that move. He is a lap car, so he shouldn't really be overtaking him. The question is, now can iBirch maybe get the position back on Aloe Champs, has he?
Yeah, I think he's just lit the rears a little bit and he's hit the puddle and back end is not on the back and he can't save it.
I'll interrupt you here. As we take a look at the replay there from iBirch there, just got a bit too heavy on the power and just caught the exit of turn 14 there, and right round he went. As we flick back to Aloe Champs now, that car still looks very damaged, but we know that that's probably just visual damage, not performance impacting. As Aloe Champs, still pushing very hard. Going to be the question now. 7-second gap to Ferrari, 2 laps to go. It's about 3.5 seconds per lap. He's got to catch him, and I don't think he'll be able to do it unless Ferrari has a very detrimental spin to destroy his race here. We see the time starting to calm down a bit, but Cashnet's still staying at 2 minutes 7.6. So time's definitely starting to calm down just a bit as we head on to lap.
A lot of titanium to runs the midfield there. Fresh set just to get a bit of practice maybe with next season running here.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with flip there, setting a good 2 minute 9.3. That's a relatively quick time for a back marker. Showing that Nissan definitely has pace. The Nissan Nismo, number 23 car, as I think that's Mayo. It's not Mayo, it must be iBirch just in front of him there. As Cashnet is on lap 32. We are on lap 32. Of course, 32 my racing number, just a fun fact. As the drivers are definitely starting to push very hard now, just to get those critical extra tenths of a second to try and get up the order. Jordan, I don't think from now on we'll be seeing the dry compound of tyres. What do you think about that?
Yeah, shame because it can have a bit of strategy. Well, definitely the right time because you wouldn't have made this time back up, I don't think. We saw Matt there potentially still on that time struggling with the Lambo. He doesn't feel damage there. I think he's hit the wall somewhere. Yeah, it's the right call because those puddles, you hit them with these slip tyres you got over it. Very good examples to Wellington straight at Silverstone. When you start getting dry conditions there, the Wellington straight does not dry. Only part of the track, and yeah, if you're on slip tyres, you're straight off that because it's the same route as well. But what's more interesting is who has played first off and who hasn't. The fact that you haven't, you still get the time out of the time.
Yeah, those puddles there, I think, like you talked about at the Wellington straight there. That puddle there at the exit of turn 14 onto turn 15, that puddle still hasn't dried up. It still is definitely there, and I want to know is yeah, I think that's that turn 3 puddle there is definitely detrimental for the drivers there, as Cashnet got a little bit taily on exit. Still pretty good on fuel there, as we're on lap 33 now, so the last lap of the Grand Prix. Obviously 33, it was wet conditions. Number 33 in Formula 1, that's Max Verstappen, so a little bit of a conspiracy going on here that it was 33 in wet conditions, and obviously a very good wet driver, obviously showing in Brazil. Very good there, as Cashnet is our man to more than likely win the race today. Was the favourite off the start, but I was thinking that Flip was going to be the man, kind of the dark horse to try and win this race. Allo Champs in P3, obviously the Porsche driver doing a very good job, as we see Cashnet, as we see Cashnet come down the 5th straight here at Brno, the Grand Prix in the Czech Republic, as he comes through turn 10 there, the long right-hander, and ooh, I thought that was a car that had an incident with another car. No, it wasn't, which was very good, as we see Cashnet come through the final corners here onto the ascent for turn 14 and 15, as he is going to be the man to win the Grand Prix by 26 seconds. Also 25-26 seconds. Also the number 4 driver has held it all the way throughout the whole Grand Prix. He goes over that infamous puddle there. He's going to be the man to win the Grand Prix today. Well done to Cashnet, as he's finished the race there in P1. Meanwhile, we still watch on to Ferrelli as he comes up the to turn 14 and turn 15. Well done for him for finishing in P2 with an outstanding drive there. 33 laps on the wet compounded tyres. They'd be practically slick now after burning out that rubber. Like we said, it was jelly. Now it's probably porridge, very hot, and probably just got him just right at the temperature. He comes across the line to finish P2, and our man Allo Champs, he comes across the line. The Swede does well to finish in P3. Well done to him.
Damage limitation from Allo Champs. Very good damage limitation for the championship there.
Yes, I definitely have to agree with that one. As we take a look at Ibridge. I don't think Vector's behind him for position. No, it's not. It's 2 lap cars. As he comes over the line there, he's maybe, we could see a little bit last lap fight here. Looks like a little bit of damage from Matt and the Nissan. They're still going to fight it out here. What can they do? And he's slammed into the back of Ibridge, which is a little unresponsible, but you never know. He could have maybe got the position on oh no, Husa wasn't in front of him. I think that was Flip. Okay, so it wasn't for position. So they have a little bit of a fight. And the team principal coming in there. Very funny, but well done to our man Kashkit there in first place. The Audi driver did very well. So did Ferrelli, did a very good job with the tough conditions there. Allo Chance's car looking like an absolute train wreck. As we finish the race here, the rundown is Cashnet in first place, Ferrelli in second, Allo Champs in third, Ibridge in fourth, Vectro in Vectro in fifth, Mayo in sixth, Flip in seventh, Husa in eighth, and Matt in 9th, with JP, our commentator, in 10th. Very funny to have him here today. Anyway, I forgot to mention Matt had a 10-second time penalty as well. I forgot to mention that. But thank you, Jordan, for joining me today for a lovely commentary here at the Brno GP. As also thank you to Hio for joining me as well. With the well done streaming, the very good replays that he was able to give us today, and thank you so much, boys. I'll let you two end it.
Yeah, well, I think we ought to pick a driver of the day before we end. I'm gonna go.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with Allo Champs, mainly because of what happened at the start. The fact that he drove that car with damage at that pace to start with, to finish in third, I think. Cracking effort from him.
I think I'd have to agree with that. Yeah, Allo Champs definitely the Swede man being the good one with the damage, and also a bit of a mix-up with strategy there. He did come into the pits, got it fixed up, and managed to secure back to P3, which is very good. Hio, mate, thank you very much for the streaming. It was extremely well done, and all props to Hio.